He was an assistant professor there. He was denied tenure, which is a little bit surprising because he's incredibly famous social psychologist, but Harvard tends to deny tenure to everybody because they like that. So then from 1967 to 1984, he wound up being a professor at the Graduate Center of the City University of New York. So he lived in New York, and he did all these kind of city-based studies, like, for example, the subway study, right, where he did the breaching on the subway. And so he got really into the life of New York City, and he got to go back to his home. And then, sadly, in 1984, he died of a heart attack, his third heart attack, actually, at age 51. It does suck. So Milgram, a few more things about Milgram's life. He identified the small world phenomenon. Have any of you heard of the small world phenomenon? Or any of you? What's up? All right, thank you. Good. Three of you. Good. Okay, so the small world phenomenon is this idea that we're all more closely connected in the world than we maybe think we are. Have you ever seen the movie or play 6 Degrees of Separation? Or familiar with the Facebook application, 6 Degrees of Separation? Yeah. So Milgram ran that original experiment that's cited in the 6 Degrees of Separation movie, actually. I think, yeah, one of the characters talks about it, and it makes for the title. And the idea, what he did was he mailed letters out. This is completely unrelated to obedience to authority, but it is related to Milgram, and it's very interesting. He mailed letters out to random people in America and said, okay, try to mail this letter, or this package, or whatever, this note, to somebody else in America, and I randomly picked them. It's like Joe in Kansas. Try and send it to Joe in Kansas. Well, they gave the last name, obviously, and his profession. And people would, do the best they could, right? If they couldn't get to Joe Smith in Kansas, they'd send it, to Nancy whoever in Tennessee who's like closer to Kansas than anybody else they know. Or they'd send it to somebody who's in the same profession or whatever. And Milgram counted the number of mailings it took on average for it to get from a random American to another random American, and found it took 6 mailings, with a suggestion being that on average we're about 6 degrees separated from one another. Any stranger in this country you're about 6 degrees separated from. And then they rerun that study on a global scale as well. There's talking going on in the bug. It's very sneaky talking. Very sneaky. Maybe I'm even hallucinating. I don't know. But I'm starting to lose it. You guys are playing tricks on my mind. You've got into my head. So it's a very interesting experiment. It has this very nice sweet takeaway, right? That we're all more connected than maybe we thought we were. 6 degrees of separation. Also, he believed he was denied tenure by Robert Bales. So that was the guy primarily responsible for denying tenure at Harvard. That may have been a paranoid conspiracy theory. Who knows? But Robert Bales is the guy who influenced the rise of the status characteristics theory tradition in sociology and sociological social psychology, which we'll be learning in a couple weeks. So as you read that, think of Robert Bales screwing with Stanley Milgram's career. He also experimented with drugs, which is interesting. It was a condition of his hire at Harvard that he not do any experiments with drugs, because he was considered this kind of, loose cannon. He did these wild obedience experiments, and they wanted to give him a job because of them. But they were also where he was going to start. They knew he was doing some drugs. They didn't want to do an experiment with drugs. Why did they not want him to do experiments with drugs? What significant Harvard psychology professor would have led them to think, this is a bad idea? He got his PhD from here, from the Berkeley Psychology Department. He dropped acid with his students. Big no-no. There we go. Timothy Leary. Thank you. So Timothy Leary had gotten his tenure revoked at Harvard. Very, very unusual thing. Almost never, ever happens. Less than 0.1% of the time. He gets tenure revoked because he was dropping acid with his students, and for some reason this was looked down upon. So when they hired Milgram, they're like, okay, but enough of the drugs. So, and he actually wrote a chapter of the Handbook of Social Psychology on mescaline. And I've read that chapter, and you can't tell. It seems fine. It's like, that's how you're on mescaline? That's weird. Because you're not that different than you probably are normally. And then he also was just a weird guy. He would go to he went to the office one time or a few times, and he would say, okay, today, all of my graduate students, when we speak, we must sing to one another. Probably one of those times he was on mescaline. Okay, so some quotes about obedience to authority. When you think of the long and gloomy history of man, you will find more hideous crimes have been committed in the name of disobedience than have ever been committed in the name of rebellion. C.P. Snow. This is a good one. Mario Savio. There's a time when the operation of the machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick at heart that you can't take part, you can't even passively take part, and you got to put your bodies upon the gears, upon the wheels, upon the levers, upon all the apparatus, and you got to make it stop. Which is on Sprout Plaza, I think, right? I think so. Oscar Wilde. Disobedience, in the eyes of anyone who has read history, is man's original virtue. It is through disobedience that progress has been made. Henry David Thoreau. Disobedience is the true foundation of liberty. The obedient must be slaves. Einstein, who's disobeying clearly there, never do anything against conscience, even if the state demands it. And Martin Luther King, an individual who breaks a law that conscience tells him is unjust and who willingly accepts the penalty of imprisonment in order to arouse the conscience of the community over its injustice is in reality expressing the highest respect for the law. You're actually not allowed to leave it. You're actually not allowed to leave it. Because we're a little bit behind, and so we have to talk a little bit about the Zimbardo experiment. So let's take a 1-minute break, and then we'll talk about the Zimbardo experiment before we get started. 1-minute break, and we'll do about 10 more minutes. So.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash. I hear the train a-comin', it's rolling around the bend, and I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, and time keeps dragging on. But that train keeps a-rolling on down this land and on. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy, don't ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. When I hear that whistle blowing, I hang my head and cry. I bet there's rich folks eating from a fancy dining car. They're probably drinking coffee and smoking big cigars. Well, I know I had it coming. I know I can't be free. But those people keep a-moving, and that's what soldiers need. Well, if they freed me from this prison, if that railroad train was mine, I bet I'd move it on a little farther down the line. Far from Folsom Prison, that's where I want to stay. And I'd let that lonesome whistle blow my blues away.
Okay, we will now segue to the next most famously, possibly extraordinarily unethical study in the entire history of social psychology, which is the Stanford prison study. I apologize. It's a weird anomaly of history that so much good social psychology has come out of that horrible, horrible institution. It's really inexplicable, but I promise you, we'll try to cover that research as little as possible, because I don't want to bother you. Okay, so the Stanford Prison Study was conducted in 1971, and it was influenced by high awareness of inhumane prison conditions at the time. Oh, I should say as a preface to all this, that on Thursday of this week, you will watch the Stanford Prison Experiment. So, yes, exactly. I love that there's at least mild movie in every time I even say the word. That's excellent. On Thursday, you're going to come in, you're going to turn in your assignment, and then we're going to chill out and relax and watch a film about ritual prison abuse. So, okay, so the study was conducted in 1971, and it was influenced by increasingly high awareness of inhumane prison conditions that were going on in the country at the time. So, for example, the attic prison riots had happened in 1971, leaving 40 people dead. And the study, okay, well, and there was one of the reasons the attic prison riots had happened, and it had a big influence on Americans' perceptions of prisons at the time, and influenced a wave of prison reform that hadn't been seen since the late 19th century. And one of the reasons that the Attica prison riots had happened was that, on average, prisoners in Attica prison, I don't have the numbers exactly here, they would wait about, I believe, 8 years to get a parole hearing, which would then last less than 30 minutes. And so these prisoners, had presumably done stuff to be in prison, right? But their conditions were horrible, and they saw no hope. They weren't being reformed, and they were ripe for rights, and they were being treated terribly. Or that was the belief of many people at the time. So the study was sort of influenced by this and wanted to show the horrible things that can happen when prison conditions become extremely horrible. By the way, did you see this article in CNN yesterday saying that 1 in 31 Americans is in prison right now? Like 1 in 31. Which, by the way, is a testimony to how we tend to know people that are like ourselves, because I don't know anybody in prison right now, or in jail, because I get counted a wide variety of people. But if I had totally representative social networks, 1 in 30 people I would know would be in prison. So, like, so you have like 200 Facebook friends, or you guys are laughing, like, I have 700 Facebook friends. But whatever it is, imagine if you had 600 Facebook friends, if 22 of them were in jail right now, how nuts is that? But that's what it would be if we knew a representative set of Americans. So I would argue these things are so relevant just because of the sheer number of people that are in prison in the contemporary U.S. So what they did in the study is they took 24 participants that were recruited from the community, and they randomly assigned them to be guards of prisoners. And the differences in behavior, as a result, must be attributable to the roles that they were randomly assigned, okay? So he's randomly assigning people to the guard or the prisoner role, so that if we reran the study with the same people, it is likely that the prisoners would become guards as the guards would become prisoners. So when we watch the film on Thursday, the way the guards behave differently than the prisoners, it's important to remember they could have easily been the opposite role. So the people you see behaving terribly as guards could have been the people receiving that terrible punishment, and vice versa. The study featured a bizarrely high attention to detail. Participants were actually arrested and booked and made to wear prison outfits. They were deloused, which couldn't have been pleasant. And there were visiting hours. There was a prison chaplain. There was a parole hearing at one point, which went poorly. And Phil Zimbardo, the Stanford social psychology professor that came up with the study, went ahead and cast himself as the prison superintendent who worked with the guards to keep the prisoners in line in the study. And so some of the findings were, the basic finding of this is that participants took on their roles and enacted extreme behavior. And the guards mentally abused the prisoners. They asked the prisoners to strip, they used sleep deprivation, they asked them to make weird homoerotic advances on one another, they humiliated their fellow prisoners who disobeyed, and some of the prisoners broke down mentally, and one tried to break back into the prison, one went on a hunger strike, both those people left the study early, one became a prison psychiatrist eventually, and it was discontinued after 6 days. I don't give you too much details because I want you to watch it and enjoy it, but I'll just give away the ending. So the Stanford Prison Study, some conclusions are, and I want you to watch for evidence for this as you watch the film, because it's very likely that there might be an essay question on the exam about the Stanford Prison Experiment, wherein you'll be asked to apply concepts from the class to it, which is why I'm previewing the material now before it happens. The Stanford Prison Study underscores the power of the situation. So what do we mean by that? We mean that there's a strong role of situational factors in determining behavior. This whole screed that I went off on in the middle of lecture today about how if you want to know if somebody would obey in the Milgram experiment, what would you want to know? Their personality or what condition they were in? And you want to know what condition they were assigned to. Well, that's the same idea as the power of the situation. This is this idea that the situation looms large in determining human behavior. But this is a novel thing. This is something you have to go to college and learn or look around social life very carefully and learn, because we tend to underestimate the power of the situation due to, among other things, the fundamental attribution error, the tendency to make dispositional attributions when we ought to make situational ones. So the guards barely ever used any physical force in the study because they didn't have to. The situation was believed to be real, so it became real in its consequences. And so this is an illustration of the Thomas theorem. If men find situations real, they become real in their consequences. That's how strong situations are. They don't even have to be real. It doesn't have to be a real prison. The prison guards don't really have to use any physical force, and yet they can get these people to humiliate themselves and do humiliating things, because if men define situations as real, they become real in their consequences. And actually, this relates to a quote that I have on my office door, because I think it's great, by Kurt Vonnegut, that is, be careful what you pretend to be, because for all intents and purposes, socially, you are what you pretend to be. So that's Kurt Vonnegut quote, rest in peace. And we'll see each other on Thursday, where you will watch the Zimbardo film, and you'll look for evidence of the power of the situation, and you'll overlook the terrible fact that it was conducted at Stanford University. So have a great couple days.